Hello, today's going to be a VOD review for the VOD channel, so you guys are getting spoiled with some high-octane post-game commentary, because this was a game that I played offline. I thought it was a really fun game to show you. So if you like my content, make sure to like and subscribe as per usual. You're on the VOD channel, so you get to see my face instead of the little talking doggo, because, we'll talk about that later. I'll tell story time to make the video more entertaining later. But anyways, artifacts start. The thing about artifacts, there's two things about artifacts, right? We'll talk about it, like when to pull the artifact and what artifacts to go for. Basically, there's a lot of artifacts that are game winning. Artifacts are stupid. I hate this encounter. That's my logic behind it, but that's part of TFT and you gotta play around it. But basically, you're gonna rip the artifact, you're gonna see if you have win condition on the spot. If you have a win condition or an artifact, then you just wanna take it. So, depending on the spot, if you have a combination of a unit with an or artifact that is a win condition, I recommend ripping it as early as possible to see. So here, you can see I have a Kaisa. There's a Kaisa on my bench. What does that mean for me? That means I have a win condition. Kaisa has a couple, but the main one is Fishbones. If you see Kaisa and you see Fishbones, you take it and you send it. Now, I see another Kaisa in my shop, I rip that shit instantly. Now, I want to mention something. Ripping it before the augment round is a little bit degenerate. Also, I didn't put on music. I'll put on some music for you guys right after I start talking about this. But, like I said, I used to be in the belief of playing flexibly. Play open. Play whatever you hit. Try your best. No, some of the artifacts are so imbalanced with some of the units that you just have to rip it early. Now, obviously, this was when I was in Diamond, right? If you tuned in today, I'm Masters now. This video is old. It's from last patch. This was like yesterday or the day before. I forget. It's when I hit Masters. So, the idea is that on the previous patch, there's even more win condition because Silver Merdon was also broken, and you could just force towards Jace, and you would often go number 1 or number 2 if somebody else had a more broken combination. So looking here, Gold Collector, Wits, and Unending Spear, Fishbones. I have 2 Kaisas and a Fishbones. It's instant click. You just take it. You have to play Kaisa. Me no scout, no pivot. If somebody tries to pivot into me, it is what it is because you can't like there is flexible options with Fishbones and other stuff, but you just can't go for it. Now, especially here, the main thing that I want to point out as well is that it feels really degenerate. I used to not like doing this. I want to wait till my augment round so I can pick an augment that I can then pick with my units that fits the augment, and then I can do other stuff, etc, etc, etc. That's not true anymore because the artifacts, like, if you don't have a unit that has a broken combination, then I wouldn't recommend ripping it because now I can pick an augment that fits my unit and my win criteria, which is this Kaisa. So if I see an augment that makes me particularly strong, I can take that instead in order to give myself a good chance of winning out. So for example, here, heavy is the crown. You get a Crown of Demacia, which basically if you die, you lose the round, but it gives a lot of stat bonuses. It's really good on frontline units. In the Kaisa line, it's extremely good on Mundo in the past on stats. It could be a little bit different now because Mundo's worse, but it's an insane frontline item, or it's an insane backline item. The idea is that if you have a comp where if your frontline dies, you lose, or your backline dies, you lose, like you have one or the other, like you have one frontline, one backline unit, Heavies of the Crown is typically okay and is typically pretty good. So here for Kaisa especially, it's fine because it's going to give me a lot of stats. It's going to make me very strong early. The more items I have on this Kaisa at the start of this game, the better. Because if I get some better items on this, so for example, I get this crown, I put it on this Kaisa. This Kaisa is going to gain stats. She scales infinitely by kill. You want to make sure she's, what is that? Getting the kill. So we need to just like aggressively play this, aggressively tempo it. Now, of course, I'm spending a lot of time in this opener talking about this whole thing. The rest of the game is going to be just basically me just playing around this because that's what an artifact game is. You just have to force whatever you hit and you just got to play what you can. You could try and play flexibly, but if you have win condition on the spot, you take the win condition. Now, I'm going to put on some music because I'm sure you guys would like a little bit of Pokemon music to go with the background. And then we're going to go through some stats and we're going to talk about some stuff that's going on. So hopefully that's fun. But anyways, let's get some music going. How about we listen to a Pokemon playlist? Autumn Pokemon music. This one should be a banger. There we go. Now, I don't know if I scouted it yet, but I will scout it at one point. There is another guy that looks like he's leaning towards Kai'Sa, which is very scary and very threatening because that's just the way it is. But I think his artifact was significantly worse. So let's do a little breakdown of stats. You'll see there's another Kai'Sa player, but this guy has Gold Collector Kai'Sa. See right over there. This shit, he got a Luchador emblem, he took Gold Collector and Kai'Sa. It's not that good. It's something that people kind of think is good, but it's actually dog shit because she already has an execute built in, so it really doesn't help that much, and it doesn't cap as high late game. Fishbones, however, is insane because when she does her ult, you would have noticed that it spreads everywhere. So she can literally like fucking and kill anything on the board. She snipes and kills the backline very effectively. Watch this Gnar. Do you think this Gnar is going to live? Watch, my Kai'Sa's going to cast. The Gnar's dead before the front line even died. That's why Fishbones is broken. And she scales infinite AP, guys. Sorry, AD, guys. Keep up. She scales her AD infinitely. Now, let's, I'm going to go through some stats here because we're doing a VOD review. And this was a pretty nice game for me because this was the game that I hit Master. So I thought it would be cool to show it. And I can also make reference to it on the main channel. So you guys get a little bit of a treat. You guys get me not tilted while streaming today. You get me after the game, kind of giving you some detailed breakdown of what I'm doing and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. But obviously, it's a little bit obvious, you know, for a certain, you know. Anyways, let's go here. So I'm going to open up the stats a little bit. So this is today's stats, which aren't really much different from before, but I can also use yesterday's stats and also show them. But basically, you'll see here, this is on 15.3. As you can see, there are some artifacts that are just broken. Manazane, Fishbones is up there. This is one of the win condition ones, right? In the previous patch, Silvermere Dawn was the big one, right? But Fishbones was still up there. When you look at Fishbones, it's good on a couple units. This is for how good it is on units. Kai'Sa, it's one of the best, and Jhin, it's also one of the best because these are reroll lines where you can just eventually kill the backline. Also pretty good on Ashe. The main thing these units share together that makes it really good on all of them, by the way, is the fact that they, how do I phrase it? They all have a front line that's impossible to kill. So when you have a really aggressive front line where it's hard for you to get through the front line, and you give their unit Fishbones in the back line, they have a lot of time because Fishbones is RNG. You could randomly snipe a backline carry, right? Because it hits random targets. That's the whole point of Fishbones. But if your front line is strong enough to sustain yourself with these reroll lines and Ashe, in the case of like Ashe Juggernaut, eventually you will just hit the backline carry and you will just scam and win the fight, right? That's just how Fishbones works. It's a very cheesy, it's disgusting, but at the same time, you know, some people find it fun. But that's like the whole idea with it, so it works really well on these units. Kai'Sa in particular, like if we looked on even current patch, it's like insane on Kai'Sa. It is like giga win condition. It has insane numbers. So this is what I mean. If you see it, you have to take it. So that's why if you see a Kai'Sa, you have to kind of run it. Let's go Stats Explorer. Let's go Kai'Sa. Obviously, if you don't hit a win condition, you just gotta try and play for a top 4 in an encounter like this because it is what it is. But let's go Kai'Sa 3. You'll see Fishbones is minus 1.4. This means Kai'Sa with the Fishbones on average places 1 above what it would without. Now, there's less numbers here, more numbers here if you're a stats person, you want to see like a higher number. Numbers obviously don't matter that much, but averaging a 3 on a reroll comp, you can see normally it would average a 4.2. It averages like a 3. It's an insane massive spike. It's an insane win condition. 32% win condition. It's insane. You just gotta go for it. And then I don't know if I have heavy as the crown. Like the crown of Demacia doesn't have enough stats for me to show you if crown of Demacia is good here. But anyways, that's a little breakdown. Now we're gonna skip a little bit ahead. So basically what I do here is I'm just playing Kai'Sa. I have 4 Kai'Sas. There's another person who's holding on to Kai'Sas. He has over 9,000 Kai'Sa. You would have seen it in the video already if we were watching it very attentively. And he also has a couple Kai'Sas. No matter what, I'm playing Kai'Sa because there's no reason for me to pivot because this guy's spot is worse than mine. He has a Luchador emblem, which is fucking useless. My Kai'Sa has more stats, and I already have a Kai'Sa too. He just has a Kai'Sa pair. I don't care, right? The thing is, when you're contested like this, I'm gonna bully him to pivot, right? Now the problem is he's holding the Mundo. I want to play Mundo frontline, but he has Luchador, so I don't know what's gonna go on here. So I'm actually gonna just try and like salvage the game as much as I can. I have a huge lead on Kai'Sas. My next augments are going to be anything that allows me to bully this guy off of the Kai'Sa line. Either dupes, or reroll augment, or free rerolls, or, you know, anything like that. Because, like, I just don't need to deal with this shit, right? Because I have win condition on cards. I'm playing Kaisa no matter what. Like, I'm not going to pivot to Ashe here. I'm not going to do something else. I took Crown of Demacia, which means I have to play a reroll line, ideally, so that I get value off of the augment. Because if I play a non-reroll line and my front line collapses, then I run into some problems there. So I wanted to play Mundo, though. I naturaled a lot of copies of the Protectors. As you can see, there's a lot of Protectors on my front line. Protector Kaisa isn't really a comp, but it's fine. It'll get the job done, right? All I need is my Kaisa to live. I'm scaling insanely, and I have a lot of damage, and I have the fish bones. You can basically play anything with it, and you'll be fine. So I'm going to be playing Protector Kaisa, probably, just because I have so many of the Protector units, right? I have a Rakan upgrade, I have Malphite upgrade, I have the Kennen upgrades, and I have these Kaisas. I'm good to just, like, chill with this type of board. And basically, we'll go to augment selection. Like I said, I'm taking anything that helps me reroll, helps me to hit. I was going to take Protector Circlet, maybe. So I'm holding it because I could play 6 Protector a little bit easier. Protector Kaisa isn't really a thing because you can't fit in Duelist very easily. And the front line, like, you know, you're better off with, like, the Mundo and the Duelist with the Juggernaut, with the Udyr synergy. But Protectors are fine because you have the Kennen anyways, so you can still fit in the board on, like, level 7, level 8. You can get your Supreme Cell and your front line going, so it's fine. It's serviceable. But then I see Prismatic Ticket, so now I take Prismatic Ticket. You'd be crazy to contest me on the reroll. You could, but you're basically chalked now because I hit the reroll thing. That's the high roll part of this game, because now I can without a doubt just bully this person off of Kaisa. Now, you know, I say it in, like, it's a mean way a little bit, like, obvious it's a little bit mean, but you have to do that, right? Like, I'm playing Kaisa no matter what. I would ideally like to be uncontested. Now, I'm not gonna hold on to Mundos. That's like my olive branch, right? You have a Luchador emblem, you can go for Mundo, and you can play Jin Mundo, right? With Gold Collector, it's actually good on Jin. It's not good on Kaisa, right? Like, if you want to see some stats, here, I'll let the video play so we don't waste too much time. You might think Gold Collector is good on Kaisa. I'll just show you with stats, but you just have to take my word for it. The stats are, like, you know, they're fake. They're like whatever. You don't have to believe it or not. But Kaisa with that, it's not even good. It's like, it's very mid. It basically takes up an item slot and doesn't give her much value, right? So if I go here, this is on this is on previous patch, which is the one that I was playing here. We'll go Gold Collector. You can see it's plus 0.3. It's like it's straight up just worse than a regular item a lot of the times, because basically you're taking up an item slot that allows you to have more damage a lot of the time, right? So you're just losing damage for a useless artifact, basically, because you already have an execute and it just gives you a little bit of stats, and the stats aren't that meaningful, as opposed to something like Fishbones. Even Manazane is way better on her. Snipers is really good. Flicker Blades is really good because it's just a broken item in general. You can put on anybody and you'll probably win. Like, it's one of her worst items. Like, look, it's like almost on par with, like, a Jewel Gauntlet. It makes the comp worse on average. Now, obviously, like I said, stats are a little bit fake. You know, anything is good from the right spot, whatever. But if he's contesting while having a bad, quote-unquote, bad item in general, like, you know, it's like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know, I'll hold your hand, we'll go 7-8. You know what I mean? Like, but that's the logical part. You guys have to be logical. Now, Gold Collector, like I said, he can just play Mundo Jin reroll. I don't know why he didn't choose to play Mundo Jin reroll, but now that I have Prismatic Ticket, you'll see that he basically just holds on to the Kaisa that he has, and he doesn't roll on 6. He basically just pushes levels. So the rest of the stage, I'm rolling a little bit with some of my free rerolls. I'm just trying to keep my win streak. So I'm just trying to fit in my my 4 Protector, right? So that's why I was rolling for Janna here. But basically, I'm going to chill. I'm going to use some free rerolls to see if I can find some upgrades, because I'm Udyr paired. I'm a couple other units paired. I'm not going to grief my econ tremendously. I still end up losing because this guy has Flicker Blades. Go figure. You know, the item's broken. It is what it is. It's still broken on the current patch. We'll skip ahead a little bit because I was talking a lot. But basically, I find this Cassante. So at this point, I'm just playing Cassante with 6 Protector, right? I have 6 Protector on shelf. I just have to level and find the Kaisa. So I'm just going to use my free rerolls. I'm going to hit. The other guy looks like he's not playing Kaisa anymore. He's pushing levels. He's level 7 or whatever. We're good to go. But basically, that's how you play the opening. Like I said, it's a very hard forcing game, but it comes from, like, knowledge, comes from understanding of what's going on. There's the Kaisa guy. As you can see, he has the other guy. Now, there are other options for Kaisa. As you can see, there's a Rise. I already got a Cassante. I could play Kaisa with Mentor, Like that's an option. There's also Kaisa with Rammus. I don't have a Rammus. So I'm just playing protectors. Obviously, this is not a valid option, but if you look around, this guy has mentors, right? I don't know if he's gonna, I still don't know if he's gonna play like Kaisa mentor or something, just hold on to this Kaisa forever. But I don't want to play around mentors because if I don't hit the units, I won't have a stable front line and I'll be in a really bad spot. I don't know if this guy's gonna randomly start rolling for Mundo or something. He could still contest me. I don't know. I'm just going to hold on to the protectors because I found the Cassante, right? Whenever you find a unit, that's a key indicator of what front line you should go, right? If I find a Rise, that means Mentor is pretty good because now I don't have to worry about finding the Rise for the Mentor board. If I find a Set, I have a really good Juggernaut spot because Set's the units is going to be hard to find. I can just reroll the Juggernauts and play Set because I have Set for my 6 Juggernaut. It makes my front line way more stable. Here I have the Cassante. I can just play I'll just play these units. I'm good. Right? Things are fine. Also, my fruit on my Kaisa is the Sundering one. That's why, but I'm going to try and reroll it eventually. This is a big mistake here because I have Sundering and then I made Even Shroud. I should just take it off and give her something that's a little bit more powerful. I didn't hit anything scaling early on. I tried to, but I just didn't. But anyways, we're going to roll a bit. I'm going to try and find my my final Kaisas with Prismatic Ticket. Here it's Silver. I don't need Pandora's Bench. It's bait. Keepers is great with Protectors, because the shield that you get that stacks, it works with the protector shield, so they get their like extra bonus durability or whatever with it. So you just rock it, and I'm just gonna have keepers positioning in my front line, and we'll be fine. But anyways, we're just gonna roll, and we're gonna try. I'm holding on to all these Malphites, by the way, because anything 3-star is a 3-star. It's like I don't really care. I'm one off Kaisa, so I'm just digging really deep for this Kaisa, but I don't want to drop much below 30 here. Because, like, you know, even though Kaisa 3 is a big spike, I really want to make it to level 7. And because I'm playing Protectors, I actually have to make it to level 8. Or else my board is going to be really awkward and temperamental. So why is that? Count on your fingers. Kaisa, 6 Protectors, that's 7. Where the fuck's my Duelist? Exactly. The Kaisa is going to have a hard time casting without the Duelist. Especially since if you look at my 3 items, I don't have a Shojin. Right? I have Fishbones, I have Crown of Demacia, and I have IE. So my Kaisa build right now, I need to have some sort of attack speed in order to get this cast off. Now, I think 6 Protector is going to be more stable on level 7, just because it's 6 Protector. But as you can see, I'm digging. I can't find this last Kaisa. With Prismatic Ticket, I'm down to like 10 gold level 6. But I need it, so I just have to run it. So we'll just run it. I put in the Duelist for this turn. Then I'm going to level, play 6 Protector, then I have to make it to level 8 so I can fit back in the Duelist, which will usually be the Udyr just to get the extra bonuses, because who cares, it's Mentor, you know what I mean? But hopefully that all makes sense. But that's why you usually don't play Protector with Kaisa, because basically you're going to run into a spot where the Protectors won't fit in properly. Even though Protector is like a really good front line, the Duelist is very important. Even though it's 2 Duelists, it is pretty important. It helps her to cast, and especially if you don't have Shojin, it's really bad if you don't have the casting. Even with Shojin, you probably want the attack speed to get the cast off because there's like a whole synergy there. So, you know, it's like, you gotta get to the levels. That's the problem, right? So, you know, we'll try our best. But like I said, I found the Cassante early, so I'm totally down to just like rock this build until a certain point. I'm holding on to a bunch of Rakans as well. I put Unstoppable on Rakan, by the way. He's just a stun bot. I don't want to like switch the fruit over to Cassante. I think Cassante's a little bit tankier, Cassante 1 than Rakan 2. But I just don't want to fuck the Juju up, right? I want to keep it so that I'm going with the board that I'm playing. Like I want to keep it so that I want to keep Unstoppable. That's the main thing. I want to keep Unstoppable. This guy, I don't know what he did. Like, I don't know what this cook is. So this guy, I thought he was going to contest me Kaisa. I don't know what he did, but I feel like he did the worst option out of everything. He literally just leveled to play Samira, Volibear, and Cassante. They don't even fit together. And a random Jarvan too. It's like, I don't know what he's playing. It's like, if you're playing Samira, just play, what's it called? Like, this is fine, but just play, like, what's it called? The thing, the Soul Fighter. Or if you're playing, like, for, Luchador and you're playing, like, Volley Samira, just play Edgelord. Like, we have a useless Cassante and a useless Jarvan, so, with no items, just, like, I don't know. So, like, I don't think that guy's gonna top 4, but it is what it is. It feels bad because I bullied him off the line, So I feel bad. I was hoping that he would play something else. Like, in my heart of hearts, I thought that guy was just going to reroll Jin. Because Gold Collector Jin is pretty good, I think. Like, it's okay. It's not that bad, but it's like okay. And I thought he was just going to play Jin with the Mundo, because he has the Luchador emblem, and then he was just going to play like 4 Luchador Mundo Jin or something, and reroll Mundo and just have an unkillable unit. But instead, he just didn't do any of that. He went to play Samira. And I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, here I'm rolling for a better Kaisa fruit. I think like I could have been a little bit easier with it. Mage, I think, is a little bit risky. I think Bludgeoner would have been fine, right? Ignoring the enemy's armor is like good enough. And I think that's probably what I end up keeping for a while. But anyways, here I just flash level to 7 to get 6 Protector. And this is what I was saying. Now I don't have Duelist in. That's why Juggernaut is the better preferred option here. But with Keepers and Protectors, I want to play 6. Just because remember what I was saying before with the Fish Bones? If my front line lives long enough, I will eventually win the fight by scamming the backline carry. That's what this does. The more front line you have, it gives Fishbones time to RNG kill off the backline unit. So I want to always be playing 6 Protector. Obviously, I want to wait 4 turns. Basically, it'll take me around 4 turns to get to level 8. So I'm just trying to use my HP lead, try and win as many of these fights as possible. Did you see what happened? Where's the enemy carry? Oh yeah, they're fucking dead. That's the whole point of Fishbones. That guy had Fishbones too, but my Fishbones is better than his because Kaisa hits multiple targets and just one-tapped everybody. Especially with this Crown of Demacia, this is giving my Kaisa insane stats. Look, this Udyr is unkillable, right? Obviously, it's Ascension, Udyr, Colossal, fucking Ashe player. This Udyr is never gonna fucking die. But look at the board. Who's left? That's right, it's just the Udyr. I can take as much time as I want to kill this motherfucker. We're all right. We completely killed all the damage. That's the idea of having that impenetrable front line. Now, you could drop the front line and play other things, right? Typically with Kaisa, you'll see them dual carry a Kaisa and a Darius. Now, if you noticed, I low rolled my Kaisa. I have Prismatic Ticket, and I'm broke as shit because I rolled all my gold looking for this Kaisa 3 because I needed to hit the Kaisa 3 because if I don't hit the Kaisa 3, I'm not going to get stacks. And if I don't get stacks, I'm not going to scale into late game. If I don't scale into late game, I'm going to go 8th. So, like, I needed to get that Kaisa at that particular time that I went for it. I don't have a Darius. So, for Supreme Cell, usually you would play this and you could play 4 Supreme Cell. You can drop the Protectors. You can go down to 4 Protector and put in some extra Supreme Cells and get some more damage amp, right? Those are going to help the Kaisa do more damage and stuff. But the problem is I have Fishbones. I want to stall out as long as possible, so I want my front line to be really strong so my Fishbones has time to kill off the backline carries. Additionally, the bigger issue that's at play here is that I didn't have enough time or gold to be able to play around any of the other units. Like, where the fuck is my Darius 3? I couldn't hold on to Darius. I didn't even have enough gold to find Kaisa. Like, you know, where am I going to find another 30 gold plus reroll gold to find Darius 3 so he's a dual carry? That dream is dead. We're not playing Darius on this board. And fucking Akali goes out the fucking window. You think we're playing Akali on this board? We don't have items. We don't have things, right? So even though you get the damage amp from the Supreme Cell, it's like the amount of front line that I'm losing, I think in this particular case is worse. Now, if you want to, if you high roll your Kaisa and you can go for a Darius 3, by all means, drop down to 4 Protector, fuck it. Drop down to 2 Protector even. Who am I to judge, right? Play some sort of mixed frontline board that works out fine and then play all the Supreme Cells. That's why usually you play this board with Rammus, because Rammus is a standalone frontline that doesn't need the synergies in order to be a really big tank. So you can just put a random Rammus on the front line. He scales infinite, Kaisa scales infinitely, and then you can play 4 Supreme Cell, and you can like roll for the Darius as well, and then your Darius becomes like a secondary carry, and it makes up for some of the damage that Kaisa is lacking. But we can't do any of that, because we just don't have a front line. I might hit Rakan 3 eventually. Maybe I hit the other units. I'm basically going to try and just make it to level 8. So as you can see here, I'm just going to try and scam some backline units. We're going to try and win some fights, right? I leveled to make sure that I won out. As you can see, I'm a 5 streak. That's why I pushed that level earlier. I'm trying to make sure that I save as much HP as possible, right? This Protector line, it's not going to be as crazy as high cap. So obviously we need to just make sure that we're in an okay spot. Here, I'm going to try and make as many tank items as possible. So it's going to be Warmog, Stoneplate, just because I'm trying to make as many tanks. Because if I'm playing 6 Protector, I might as well itemize the Protectors. I'm not sure if Malphite 3 is better than the Rakan 2, but basically the Rakan has the items still because Rakan has Unstoppable, and I don't want to like I don't want to get rid of the stuff for the Rakan. Here, Supremacy gives a better execute. I don't know if it's important. Bullet hell just seems better. 30% more projectiles. Doesn't that mean that I'm going to shoot more projectiles and maybe snipe the backline carries more? So I just take bullet hell. I'm pretty sure it's just better. Precision is broken. It got nerfed, but it's pretty broken. So I could have also taken that. This guy's going to be annoying because I think Jarvan's going to stun my Kai'Sa. Because I didn't position well for him. I should have put my Kai'Sa on the opposite side, but my bad. I think this Jarvan's jumping right on my Kai'Sa. And I didn't kill it. Because I have fishbone, so I can't even focus fire it. Yeah, look at that. There's my Kai'Sa. I definitely win this if I don't get Jarvan stunned, but that's just a misposition on my part. It's probably going to be really close. He also has extra targets, because as you can see, my Kai'Sa is hitting this Luchador target dummy a couple times. Right? So as you can see, right, I just barely lose, right? Because I didn't focus fire the Samira because I randomly was hitting the target dummy. If I hit the Samira instead of the target dummy, I probably would have won. But it is what it is. That was a Jarvan stun diff. So that's just a positioning problem on my bad. But yeah, we're in a good spot. We're basically winning out. Check out this one. Check out this. Ready? Look, this guy's Manazane Karma. This shit is so broken that it's even good on the new patch that Karma's nerfed. We're gonna have a Manazane Karma video tomorrow that I'll do some commentary over. Because I was kind of bitching on stream. I was kind of in a mood today because I was really annoyed with the patch. And then there was this guy and he was typing. And he's played like an absolute jackass. And I was just really annoyed. But look. Oh, I didn't win this fight. But I could have won that fight just, if I killed the Karma a little bit earlier. But you're going to see, we're going to start to fall off. Here, I sold the Udyr because I had an Udyr that I was holding on to put in as next. If I sell the Udyr, I had enough gold. There was an Udyr in my shop to level. And then I could get Duelist in this turn. So now I'm spiked again, right? Duelist is a huge spike because, like I said before, you really need on the Kai'Sa. I just didn't want to drop the 6 Protector because it's like a trade-off. It's like I think I'm equally as weak without Duelist and the 6 Protector. I really need both in. That's why Protector is really awkward because you see, I had to hit the Kai'Sa and then I still have to make it to level 8. So imagine if you're playing like some of the other Supreme styles, it's just really awkward. Check this guy out. He has Flicker Blade Ash. Who do you think wins? Probably him, but like I'll make it close. If I snipe this Ash, I actually beat him. Ooh, yeah, I don't think I'm winning this one. Unless I snipe this Ash right now. Nah. It's just too strong. He also has Edge of Night, so I can't snipe it very easily. I have to hit it multiple times. But anyways, this game's going to come to a close, basically. This is basically my board now. I'm just going to roll quite a bit. I'm going to try and put some items on this Malphite. I don't have a secondary carry, like I said, but that was because I low-rolled the Kai'Sa so hard, so I'm just trying to convert this into a top 4. It should still be like a second or a third, right? Just based on HP advantage. This guy I should beat. I positioned my Kai'Sa on the correct side. You see how my Kai'Sa's not near the Jarvan? Now we're fine. The Jarvan's not going to jump on my Kai'Sa because there's 5 units that are closer to him. He's going to jump towards this clump. My Kai'Sa's going to have a grand old time. See? Even though he jumped, it's far enough away from Kai'Sa. So we're fine. I should win this easy now. Because my Kai'Sa, even though he has a Braum 2, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And you see, this is the 6 Protector diff, right? This is what I was saying before. Like, I can go for more damage, obviously, but having that Malphite and that Cassante just living a little bit longer, the extra shielding, the extra living, is enough for me. But anyways, we just go, we go. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Oh, check out this one, right? Manazane Karma. It is a clone, but watch. I'm going to snipe this Karma instantly. Not instantly, but maybe on the second cast. As you can see, the attack speed, you can see my Kai'Sa just visually is popping ults way faster. That's part of the reason why you need the Duelist in. Especially without mana gen, you just need the attack speed. And then look, this Cassante, yeah, no fucking way is he dying. Exactly. Top 4. If I get a third, I'm masters this game. That's basically my thought process. I hit the Cassante and the Rakan, which is great. So, Rakan 3, unstoppable. Like I said, I didn't want to change the fruit onto a better tank. Even though the Rakan 2 wasn't that tanky, I just like the unstoppable to like stall out. It's just a broken fruit. And I wasted all my fruit removers trying to find a better Kai'Sa fruit. So, it is what it is. But anyways, we have the HP lead. If we had like a higher cap, like a secondary carry, we probably would be able to play for a first tier. But because we have just the Kai'Sa and just a bunch of like shitter frontline units that we're playing, we don't cap as high, right? Obviously, I low rolled on the Kai'Sa. If I was able to have like Akali 2, Darius 3 with Prismatic Ticket especially, right? You have to understand as well, my Prismatic Augment, Prismatic Ticket. Usually you want to have multiple 3 stars. I barely have a Rakan 3, and I barely have a Kaisa 3. Usually with Prismatic Ticket, you're hoping to have everybody 3-starred. I should have Nico 3, I should have fucking Rakan 3, I should have Kaisa 3, I should have everything. But it was just so hard for me to hit the Kaisas, and then basically every turn after was just me pushing levels to make sure that I guaranteed my placement, right? I didn't want to greed any stages, greed any levels. With my gold, I just wanted to instantly level up, get my next power spike in, instantly level up, get my next power spike in. That's just how it worked out. Of course, now I'm just going to rearrange my items a little bit. It's fine. I have enough front line here. I'm on bad side, I think. I think Jarvan's going to stun my Kaisa here. But it should be like a second probably. Just based on HP. Because I actually could beat this guy if I snipe his backline fast enough. Oh, wait, is Jarvan, I don't think, jumped my way. Or maybe I killed it instantly. I wasn't paying attention. I'm on bad side. This guy's a Zyra fucking thing. But it's fine. Yeah, that guy died, which is crazy. He died to the Karma. And then I'm fighting the Karma. This is something I always do. You can look at the chat in the top corner, right? It's me saying, like, hey, GG, are you going for anything? Right? Because, you know, whenever somebody's in a high roll spot with a lot of HP, you know, sometimes they're like trying to go for a 3-star, or they're trying to go for like a 5-star 3-cost or something crazy and cool and fun. And you know, like sometimes people are like really bitter and stupid and annoying, and they just like instantly FF. I hate doing that, right? Because I'm just being a homie. It's like, hey, I want to FF. Are you going for anything, or am I gonna like spoil your fun? So sometimes there's people that's like, oh, I'm going for this guy 3-star because they have a bunch on their bench. And I let them hit because I lose anyways. I don't care if you win by like an indisputable margin. Get a clip for your YouTube channel. You know, I'm a content creator too, right? But I'm not going to like grief the game. But anyways, that's me ranking up to Masters on the current set. Grandmaster is very close because I ranked up pretty early. So like there's not a lot of Grandmaster players, right? There's not like 750 Grandmaster players because the Elo threshold didn't change yet. So I'll decide if I go for Grandmaster like right away, like if I just go for it and just show you guys that I'm Grandmaster. But if I'm being honest, I want to play Silk Song next week, so I'm probably just going to play Silk Song. I started a Hollow Knight playthrough. I might post 1 or 2 clips on this channel, or maybe I'll make a variety channel for it. So that is what it is. But anyways, this is today's video. So hopefully that was fun and exciting and great, and hopefully you enjoyed it. The commentary, I tried to make it as informative as possible. Tomorrow we're going to go over a Karma game that was a little bit wacky, and I also want to see, because I feel like I shouldn't have lost at the end, but I think I just got scammed by the lobby, so I'm actually curious about it. So I'm actually going to analyze it for myself as well. After that, it's going to be back to just like stream VOD, so you know, you don't get this high quality me going over it and explaining it. You just have me like bitching in the middle of the game. But that's what the VOD channel is. It's supposed to be like lesser effort than the guide channel. Just for some of these videos, you know, I'll take the extra time to make it a bit more entertaining, so you guys get some saucy stuff. Anyways, bye bye.